This is Ryan with Pilot Ryan Media. We 3D print a lot of trucks, but I think what you learn here may apply to what you're doing as well. But I'm definitely talking to our people. So a lot of times people talk about orientation, and why are they talking about orientation? Generally, it's because they don't have room on their build plate, so they've got to adjust so it'll fit. But I think most importantly is for the fidelity of the print when it's done. So printing in carbon fiber PET G, and we have landed on an orientation around this, about 55 degrees, something like that, and it really makes for a nice print. I'm going to show you what it looks like if I were to just do it like this. If you're new to printing, you're just going to drag it on the plate, make it fit, and usually go for it. But you'll have a lot of work to do. So I want to show you how to use adaptive layer height to of course, you're going to use the rotate tool and set it the way you want. You're going to set it up for supports. But with adaptive layer height, you can just hit a button and toggle the gain basically. And it's going to read the print and clean it up and lower the layer lines if you tell it where you want it and where you know there's going to be a problem. So this prints off really nice, but this where it rounds over these complex shapes, you see some plateauing. And I did not run height range modifier or adaptive layer height on this one. And it turned out really good, but there's some opportunity to clean up this plateauing here. So we're gonna show you how to orient the plate for a good print, and then also how to play with the adaptive layer height here to clean that up even better. Because you know, a lot of times with prints, you just know you're gonna have a lot of finish work to do, but with this carbon fiber and glass fiber PET G, I'm loving it right now. It comes off so good, there's really very little to do. So we're gonna get into the computer and I'm gonna show you what it looks like and what we do on our prints to make them come out the best. That way when you get one, if you don't wanna mess with it, it's gonna look good as is. So that's kind of the plan, and let's get into it. So you can see these lines like a racetrack along the top of this, and that is actually how it would come out as well. If you said okay to this and decided to print it like this, not only the contour of the roof design, but like this racetrack of plateaued layer lines is one thing that you would see. And then also, this is like a day-long print, a lot of wasted time and support, and then the result is not great. So we're going to go ahead and just rotate this, and you can snap to 45s. We already kind of know we like a little more than 45, so generally for us, we're going 55. Now, if we slice this now without doing anything, you'll see how nice it cleans up the layer lines, which is super important. And even if you don't do adaptive layer height here, this is going to benefit you greatly over the original slice that I showed you. Okay, so it's almost done, 80%, and we're going to see what this looks like, and we'll be able to really zero in on the lines and show you the difference there. Okay, so it's done, and just for the record, the time is cut in half. It's only 11 hours now, which is phenomenal. And if we take a really good look at it, we can see that the whole print looks really nice. But here where it has to make this round over at the very top, the angle helps determine how much of this is a problem. A shallower angle, this would be more of a problem. So the higher, more vertical up you can get it, the more narrow this area of, it's not really trouble, but it's preference. And if the machine can do it and it saves you time, why wouldn't you? And so what's really nice here is the underside, the inside, the outside looks really good. But we can make it look even better with a little trick. Now, some guys are going to use height range modifiers. That can be done, but I think the easiest bang for your buck, especially if you're new to just exploring this type of improved fidelity strategy is to go with adaptive layer height. So let's get back out of this, and we're gonna go to prepare again, and we're gonna highlight the plate, and we're gonna click variable layer height here. And it's defaulted to 0.5 and then 5. Just hit adaptive, and you can see what it's done here. It's read the print, and it's going to do the work that it thinks you need. Now, it kind of makes sense to slice this just to see the time. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. But we're going to play with this. And with a 0.4 nozzle on this abrasive filament, this glass fiber, it makes sense that you don't go less than 0.12, even though the machine will let you go to 0.08 on the layer height. So different material you can scrub it down to lower, but we're going to stop at 0.12. And I really appreciate all you guys that chime in the comments, because I'm learning too. I learn from you guys. So, all right, we've done the adaptive layer on the whole model, and you can see where it's decided it needed to do the work on its own. Like here at the window, the stripe, it won't really show up in the print, but kinda. So that's why I'm like, you know what, if it's getting it done for me, and I printed off so many of these roofs now, I know it will. If it's getting it done for me, I'm not going to really make it do all this work if I know I'm happy with the print and I only need it at the top. So if I scroll in to the top, you can see how much better this top looks now. The plateauing is basically gone. So you could just say go for it and print this, and it's going to take you 13 hours. So it adds a couple hours to it, but it's not a whole day. So the benefit of changing the orientation is huge, and the fidelity is huge. But we don't want this everywhere else. So let's get back into it and show you how we scrub this down. This is really cool. So if you get over here in the sidebar, you can see what it's doing. You can see me scrub through the model, right? And if you left click, it's going to bring it down. If you right click, it's going to bring it up the size of the layer line. So if I'm here at the top of the print and I just go left, it's bringing it down. So I can wash this down, and like I said, 0.12 is really about where I want to be. 0.08 is as low as it lets you get. And I could scrub this to just right here at the top. And then if I right click, I can scrub the other out and bring it back up to where it's all like this orange. So I'm gonna go ahead and scrub all of this other off. And you kind of got to wash around a little bit. You can see I'm scrubbing here, and I'm holding the right click down, and I'm scrubbing out all of that other work it's done, because I already know, like, I'm pretty happy with the way this turns out, so I don't need it to do all this work. And it does show up in the print a little bit, so I'm just going to put it where I need it. I've scrubbed all this, and you can do this with height range modifiers, but I really like doing it this way. And so many times I'll just hit the adaptive and let it do what it wants to do on its own. I only need it where it starts to round over, so into those grooves just a little bit. That makes sense to me. Now it's at 0.08, which I don't love. It's going from 0.28 to 0.08. So if I want to make this scrub the other way, back up to 12, I'm going to right click and do it. So I'm starting here with the right click and then scrubbing back, and I'm kind of moving kind of quick. Okay, so that put me at 0.17, 0.18. It's kind of feathered in here. So this is kind of where it's tricky, which is why the height range modifier might be the way to go for you if you don't want to rely on you and your mouse here. So let's slice this and just take a look at it though. The internet says 0.12 is as low as you want to go with this kind of filament, so I'm just going to trust that. So we're going to set the height range modifier instead. Now, of course, at 0.08, this is going to look fantastic. And it does. It's not bad at all. And by the time you really, you can really see how that has tightened the lines up. But then they plateau out again. And it all depends on where it's at on the curve. So let's just go back into that really quick. Let's see, did I have it all 0.08? Yeah, I did for that whole range. So we're going to go for the height range modifiers on this one because I want to really dial it into the 0.12 specifically. And so we're going to go ahead and reset this. Now, if you're printing with other filament, that 0.08 is going to be fine. The abrasive carbon fiber and glass fiber PETG is not something that I want to do 0.08 with. So I'm just going to reset this to nothing and get out of this. So for height range modifiers, what you're going to do is right click it, go down a height range modifier, and it presents this box down here. I've done this one other time, so I'm not really slick at this, but I know it's doable. So you click into there, and we already know that we want this to be 0.12. And now it gives us this height range here, and you can see your plates down here, which is the top and bottom of the height range modifier. And if there's a way to drag those up and down without guessing on the numbers, they're both moving up there together right now. So I'm sure there's a slicker way of figuring out where you want to start at, but I don't know what it is. So tell me in the comments. So yeah, you'll type the numbers in there and you'll think nothing's happening. Just click into it. Okay, this is getting there. So 250, so we're gonna do 258. Click in, hit return, and then click the box. So we're getting close to where I want to be here. And this is another way to achieve the same thing, which I think is totally awesome. So let's go 265, return, enter, tab the box. Let's go a little more. We'll go 69, return, click in the box. That's actually what I want. So, and then now we can bring down this other one. There's no problem in going a little higher than it needs to be, so we're going to go 279. Just make sure for certain that we're above. Oh yeah, we're above it. And might as well go to, bring it down a little bit, 277. And this is millimeters. So yeah, this is going to print the whole thing at 0.2 except for this little bit right here. So we'll go ahead and slice it. We've already changed it to 0.12 for that modifier. And so this really achieves the same thing without having to worry about scrubbing and stopping at the exact digit, because that scrubbing with the adaptive layer height will let you get lower than you want to get on the height. And again, that doesn't really matter necessarily unless you're into the abrasive filaments. 11 hours, 41 minutes, still saving a ton of time. And if we really take a look at this, we can see that what we wanted to achieve is happening here. And it's, you can tell by looking that it's actually probably not even necessary until a little bit further up. And because this line here is back into the contour lines on the roof, I'm going to actually change this modifier. But I mean, we're zooming in awfully big here, and It is what it is. It looks pretty good though. The plateauing's minimal. It's way better. We're gonna mess with that modifier one more time just to kind of bring that line right at the start of the radius, so it's even less work to do. We're gonna highlight the modifiers down here that is gonna bring the range back up to us, and we can probably get this to a couple more millimeters. So let's go 271. Hit enter and then tab the box, and we're taking a look at it here. We are right at the really the beginning of that curve now. I like that. So we're going to slice it. Okay, so yeah, that's great. We tighten that up a little bit. Now if we zoom in, we can see it's really at the start of the curve where that starts to be a problem, and we solve that problem. And again, you don't have to do this. I think what's neat is that this equipment can do this. Hopping into the slicer and being able to achieve these things is really phenomenal. There's a lot of great information out there. It's the community is how I'm learning how to do it. If I have a question, literally I'm looking it up on YouTube, Google, and I would say if you have questions, and let's say you're not even using a Bambu printer but some other slicer, a lot of them have a lot of the same tools. Get specific, ask the question, tell Google what printer you have, and it will throw recommendations out at you. And a lot of times it's right on and how to do it. And yes, it would let me go down to 0.08, but because of this filament, 0.12 is where I want to be. And someone's already learned the hard way, and it's out there in the world on the internet, so save yourself the trouble. I say it's pretty good advice most of the time. And yeah, we're down to 11 hours on this, and we know how much filament it's going to use. Yeah, a lot. And what it's going to cost me. But I'm going to go ahead and send it. So I'm going to print the plate. I do have the dryer already going, and it's going to adjust itself down to 55 degrees instead of 65 in the AMS 2 that's on the H2D. That's fine. It kind of does it by default. It'll give you a warning that it's doing it, but there it goes. Filament's already mapped out good. So you can play with the fidelity of your print to make it even better. I'm so happy with this carbon fiber, the way it comes off looking really nice, that if I can clean up that little bit of roundover, it's always a challenge, especially on these trucks that we like making. It's always a challenge where things are going to start to plateau the lines, and you see those lines. So it's always going to be curves. And I mean, this has done a fantastic job. And these little wings here could be a problem, but yeah, the same thing. We're going to print this roof like this, and so it keeps it really clean on the inside. And the only real challenge is right here at this like leading edge. If you print one like this, you're going to get tons of plateauing up here, and you're going to have this whole bottom be overhangs and supports, which wastes a lot of time and filament, and also just doesn't look as good. So a lot of times you're going to see folks doing bigger prints, especially in relationship to cars and trucks. Like you think about the contour that's involved on the body panels. 45 is not a bad place to start. And you can preview the slice and know how it's going to lay those lines, and take a look and see how it's going to do the lines for you. And if you want to clean it up, you can use the adaptive layer tool and just hit it and let it go. And you can kind of adjust the gains there on those little scroll bars for smooth and adaptive. You can adjust those, or you can go with the defaults. I mean, usually if it's something you're trying to solve, the defaults is still better than what you had. And if you don't know exactly what you're getting into, that's not a bad thing to do, is to rely on the defaults. Again, I have to be really specific with this filament not to go less than 0.12. on that smaller layer line. So for me, getting out of the adaptive tool and going into the height range modifier was the best way to go, because I can set it to 0.12, and that's what I needed in my case. That's not like a for cure all for everything, but for in what we're doing today, that's what I need. So you can set it and forget it, which is really nice. And you'll set these numbers and you don't think it's working, set the number, hit return, and then click in the box, and you'll see the change happen in the preview window, and you know you're good to go. If you like these videos, thanks so much. Let me know. I can learn from you in the comments. Definitely tell me what you want to see next, and tell me what you would do differently, because a lot of times somebody's already doing this way better than I am, and there's tips and tricks that they know that they can share with us in the comments. So hop in the comment section, check out the value from the rest of the community, and let me know what I can do better or what you would like to see. The last video I did was on modifiers to strengthen it up in one area but lessen the infill everywhere else. That's a pretty good one. And then how we scale our big trucks to figure out wheelbase, and then also how to cut those and add locators with either pins and holes, or dowels, which is a hole on both sides. So when you do glue these big pieces together, it's perfect every time. That video I think has been super valuable. It's doing pretty good. So check that out. I'll put it in the description and like an info card up here or in screen. So yeah, check out the links in the description for some of the things we're using. And Bambu, thank you so much for hooking it up where we can do this kind of thing and share it with everybody. I'm Ryan. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.